All right, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for, June 21st. Stand by. All right, we'll start with the hybrid swing portfolio 30-minute charts, starting with Alcoa. Here's the turning point. Here's the opening of the new day. There's the COTA 2, standard risk, holding about 1.5, looking to get to this price level, this price level, this price level. I'll add a position here. AI, this was the critical state, gapped up, collapsed, collapsing dragon, 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 on an intraday swing with a wide stop of about $1.50. And this is a 15R trade when we look at the turbo trade here in a little bit. But if you're just trading 30 minutes, there's a 3R trade for you. Caterpillar, half an hour intraday SSC. Cliff, oh, that's right. This should have been the -1 exit here. Didn't mark it up. Sorry. I don't know how I missed that. Chevron, we closed a 1 hour gain after the COTA 2. Dish, we ended up scratching the second one. This one paid off about net 1R. Devon Energy, intraday gift. Here was yesterday's short. Here was the open. Waited for confirmation, dummy. 1R. Electronic Arts, the yesterday's short on the collapsing dragon. This closed poorly. There was a gap. I was paying attention elsewhere. Otherwise, I should have taken the exit here. But then it rolled over. And then I missed the second entry here. So just as sloppy as can be. I console myself with a 5R that is below the resistance level in a raging winter. Here's where that signal comes from. After a long grind and then a collapse into the winter, that's what a harsh winter looks like. So when this turns around, this is going to be something special. Meanwhile, 5R. Emerging markets, missed the short. That should be setting up okay for tomorrow, I'm thinking. This little tight risk box here feels like a zero state. If that continues, I'll be long. It's going to try to close this. Then if it gets through here, second position as it tries to close the gap. But that is also an automatic short because that would be winter, spring, and then a failed spring would lead to a sharp downward move. So I hope it fails tomorrow so we can demonstrate that technique. Ethereum, I took an intraday gift. Basically a half an hour, missed the run, missed the short. That's at a critical state right there. I mean, if this does not hold and you can trade directly in the currency, be ready for that. Mexico closed the short for 4. Brazil, it's continuing to grind. I missed a second entry on this one. This should have been a second entry like right here. When that little shelf, you can feel it trying to break through that and it can't. And when it finally does, that release from pressure gives you that. That's why a breakout above the statistical peak of the RL10. That's why that matters, and that's why missing it matters. That's leaving money on the table. Dummy. Here's what happens when that shelf breaks. You get that collapsing dragon. There was probably a second entry on this one, but there's no hurry. If this breaks, that's the 5-day low, then it's going to come down to here. IP just missed the collapsing dragon. Man, I was horrible today. IYR, that's showing weakness. I gotta just get rid of those two. I don't even like them. Missed the re-entry. This closed poorly. KRE, that regional bank is showing weakness. McDonald's, on a better day, that's a COTA 2 entry. I still feel good about that. The fact it's in a shelf, it hasn't run away, so I will be long here if it breaks out above 295. I will be short if it breaks below 293, and then I'm going to set up for that and that. Merck closed the COTA 2. That is just all over the place. It feels like it's not running. That's more trouble than it's worth. Microsoft, man, I've just missed this one altogether. This is what happens when you fall in love with them. You get this, you get those nice moves, and they just miss a clear collapsing dragon twice. Ugh. Bad form. A collapse below here will be significant, but that also tells me that this is setting up. There's a risk box. So north of 335, I think you want to buy it. Just for the channel trade. Marijuana, just, again, almost more trouble than it's worth, which is an excuse to say, oh yeah, I missed the clear COTA 2. I mean, you don't get any clearer signals than that, and a PSAR flip. That should have been 2R with a sloppy exit here. That should have been 1R. Well, I'm about a D on today's trade. Half an hour loss on the NVIDIA COTA 2, so that one led me to want that, and then I stayed around for a half an hour loss, and then missed the 1, 2, 3, missed the. This is a COTA 2 entry, but to be honest, I mean, that'd be an SSC entry. I don't really like that, and Intel was weak, and today was weak in the market. I am getting nervous on the downside break, so I did not want to hold that overnight. Too late in the day to take an overnight risk, especially when I should just be adding a position here. So short, that should have been a second position big time and then an exit here, but I'm only holding one position, so my sloppiness keeps me in. I'm at 4R. If it breaks below 38, second position. If it breaks above 39, exit. Rivian missed the collapsing dragon. Oh God. So this is a high, a lower high. When this breaks, I should be short on that. So mad. And then here, when it turns to winter, I should be on that, and I should be exiting right here. Treasuries, I just can't trade them intraday. I just no good at it. I tried Tesla yesterday. It ran all the way up to here. It gap opened here, and I gave back like 2R and kept 1. Just bad form. I don't like this rollover. Below 259, Tesla's a short, and if it breaks, below 245, it's a second position, and it puts it in risk all the way back to 230. On the other hand, the most important stock in the world, if that breaks above 265, I'm long as in childlike optimism. I will be long. U.S. Steel, no trade. Just horrible. On the other hand, I was busy today. Sniper trade of the day. So here was AI, which was in a critical state. It had had an enormous run up, and then 2 days of weakness, and it closed tightly, and then that broke, and that's this smash. Standard risk, 60 cents, 2R, 4R, 6R. 2R battle drill, 2R battle drill, 2R battle drill, standard exit, 16R. Tried it again on the SSC, lose a half. Tried it short, lose a half, call it 2R. SSC, 1R, net 15. So that makes up for a lot of sloppiness. So on the daily, so this was that emerging dragon, which has led to all of this. That double top at the 150-day high. The R10 rolls over. Not quite crossing the baby dragon yet, but you can see this thing has already come down to the spine of the dragon. The PSAR has crept up to 430. There's the 5-day low. That's as critical state as you could ever ask for. This is such a flashcard. You got to be ready for this recovery. It's a 3-day sell-off, orderly, still in the noise. If they're going to buy the dip, they buy it tomorrow, and that thing goes. And if it breaks above the 150, you add a second position. But if it falls below here, and especially if it falls below here, I'm going to be short from today's low. I'm going to add a second position here, a third position if it breaks below the 10-day low, and then if it comes all the way back to here, this price, that sell-off, will have negated all of that joy. That's why this is the line in the sand, and there's your 30-day low. Now, you got to be able to see that as a critical state. When you drop down to the 30-minute chart, this is what that looks like. I want you to notice summer, fall, summer. It was supposed to fail here to get back into this channel. It did not. It resumed and does this all the way to here. And then from here, it's failed all the way back. Fall through the Red River. That's why that was critical. Into the winter. There's the winter. Winter, spring, winter. That gets to this. Now, we're in the spring, in the Red River, and this entire move has been negated by that entire move. This is the size of the sell-off from the peak. If this breaks below the 5-day low, then this move creates this move and brings it right back to this support level, right back to 426. So from this critical state, you're either going to get a move to 426 or a move to 443. That's a symmetrical move on a really tight risk box, and that's why this is a critical state. And that's why you've got to master that idea, and you got to master this trade geometry of support and resistance, and look at the symmetry. Look at the symmetry and the support levels, and then use the MACD for climate and weather. Guys, that's a 3-day workshop in 5 minutes. And then you can just lather, rinse, and repeat this stuff like you see me doing on the 30-minute chart. And you don't even have to be precise. All right, let's look at the traders. Sure hope I'm recording this. Whew, good. Here's AI. So this is from my brother on the 3-minute, the afternoon trade, the breakout, second position. It doesn't follow through. So there's a 2R gain. Natural gas. So he's again working the 3 minutes. 2R, 1R, 1R, 4R. Just standard follow the train. The boy's a machine. IWM. Standard breakout. 2R battle drill. Exit, short, cover, 5. Like a machine. So this is MicroStrategy. This is, let's see. So these guys are a tech company that's heavily connected to Bitcoin. They use company operational funds to buy a huge stake in Bitcoin. So this is kind of a stealthy way to play Bitcoin. Yeah, there's some nice upside in Kata 2 on this one. There's your collapsing dragon.
Yeah, there was failure to fail further for a year.
Yep.
So then the next slide shows what made me trigger.
Yep. And this is triggering on the 30-minute chart.
Yep. Over 3 days, 4 days.
Yep.
It's just not going to fail.
Well, Bitcoin is having a run up. That one is connected almost exclusively to the Bitcoin trade.
Yeah, it's a good way to play, but like you said.
Right. So this is Steve. Big stretch. Gets a triangle kind of formation here. Short-term breakout and then a collapse. That would have, I think, was a nice one. And now this is setting up. He's framing this as a from the base. Yeah. So he's got a 2R target and a 4R target. If this breaks out from this box, so there's clearly buying interest in this thing.
Out of 2.
You guys should go into the chat room and take a look at Constantine's discussion of his techniques. What he was basically describing was how he's using 30-minute charts on the gold dollar pair to identify moments of structure, which when they break, give you moves, gives you moves, gives you moves, and then when this structure breaks, big moves. And this thing is setting up structure, so if that fails, he'll be short, he'll have a second position short, and if this fails, he'll have a third position short. So there is your big channel with 3 legs. There's 1, there's 2, and this could be 3, and then if it leaves that structure, he'll be large. So he's basically just finding out where those support and resistance levels are. Look at this nice kata 2 to the downside. When that little structure breaks, smash. You get paid to know your targets. And so here's what he's doing. He is refining his 2-minute trade by looking at a 10-second trade, and he sees structure, and he's able to make that trade after the harsh sell-off.
Talk about a machine.
Yeah. En fuego. Just remember there's somebody on the other side of the trade that knows what they're doing. So if you monkey around, yeah. So here's a short. It stays inside its channel. It finally breaks. On this kata 2, he adds a second position. And now he covers for 2.75. Damien trading his favored SPY on 1 minute for about an hour.
Just getting it done.
Keep it boring. OR3 reverses for 1. That is an instant long, by the way. And then you'll get this trade. So -1. Waits for it to get here. -1. Waits for this. -0.8. So says, you know what? Just not in sync. When you make a decision to be not in sync, I want you to just notice, just observe. Here is the VWAP. So when this thing comes back, stabilizes, does not fail, there's a breakout from the VWAP, there's a breakout. Pay attention to your VWAP, but on the other hand, he finds better targets. NVIDIA. So he's finding the movers. OR3, smash. Quick loss, smash. Kata 2, doesn't take him, but he's got 3.5. Tesla 2.7. Failed breakout, smash. Smash. Failed breakout, smash. Gets paid 2.7. Total for the day 3.5. Keep firing. There's a time in every fight where both guys think they're losing. The guy that keeps going. There's your PSAR flip. There's your collapsing dragon. And this is your OR3 pinch and now expansion. Here's another collapsing dragon. Here's another collapsing dragon. So let's get paid in here. tries long, quick scratch, tries long, gets paid a little, tries short, loses a little, and quick scratch makes point 0.3 for the day, and that's not even getting this. And it's not getting that. So if we can come out of that in the green, we're doing okay. I'll say that. That was on the Aussie. Here's Rad on the Aussie. Here's the let's see. So here's a Z3 pinch. Alert. Failure to fail. Come on, Kenny. Draw the. Yeah. So failure to fail. 1, 2, 3. Z3 entry. Holy mackerel. Gets paid. Quick loss. This should be a stop and reverse, but gets paid. All right, Hamad.
I'm not a big fan of taking the long when you're in a new downtrend. I don't know.
Well, that's the definition of an SSC. If it fails, you're in the collapsing dragon. All right, so here's the big sell-off outside Z3. He takes the 1, 2, 3, takes a quick scratch or quick loss, then plays the breakout, gets paid, doesn't take the follow-through, quick scratch, and so you got to keep firing. Stop believing in them.
I stand corrected.
Brazil. OR3, scratch, minus a half, gets paid.
Yeah.
Quick loss. I think you got to get long here or here. And then I don't understand that one except to say that you wanted to keep that because you had lost this. This has nothing to do with that decision. You're in a rising trend. The volatility is collapsing. You have gains. You have a clear PSAR. Don't take that exit. You might add a second, but I just keep that as one until you've got two R in hand. That's not an entry. This would have been a re-entry, but that should never be an exit. And then stay out of the chop. NVIDIA. Yeah, you and the rest of the world trade with a lot of caution and fear. Gets paid, gets paid, gets paid. Doesn't get this one, but still 3.1. You don't have to be perfect, but you got to keep firing. Tesla is the first time he's trying the R10 MMRB. Helped him execute faster since he didn't need to calculate position sizing and figure out stops. Yeah, beauty. This didn't work, so cut it and fire away. This didn't work, tried it, didn't work, so he gets short, smashes. Now you're into the chop, 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 chop. Still 1.8, we'll take it. All right, I will get the daily report out. We had a glitch in the Godzilla's, so I'll get that out in about 20 minutes. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and posted. Cheers.
Good night.
Yeah, Steven built that new machine. Holy smokes, is that a screamer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he saved about $2,000 by building it himself. That thing is a monster.
Hmm.
Just in time too. So we're getting the laptop processes rolled over into the
Cool.
workstation and getting ready to scale that large.
Hey, you're right, Damien. Boring is good. Oh, he left,
Yep.
but
All right, see you, brother.
doesn't have to be sexy. We'll see you, bro.